It's time for another Weeb Wednesday, and I wanted to do a video all about the Winter 2025 anime I actually completed. It doesn't mean that I won't possibly watch more because I just really like to binge watch anime. So unfortunately that means I was trying to watch a whole bunch of anime the very last weekend of March because I had to film for this video. So I didn't get to finishing or even getting far enough through some anime to see if I wanted to finish them. But I will talk about the anime I still want to finish at the end of this. And I really would love to hear any of your suggestions for anime to watch in the new season, spring 2025 anime season that will be starting or is starting by the time this video goes up anyway. I'm gonna tell you at the end of this video what anime titles jumped out at me that I'm looking forward to, but I definitely hope that you will comment below some recommendations for me to check out. I'm gonna try not to tackle quite as many as in my first look at winter 2025 anime, but I still want to give a fair shot and watch a good amount of the first episodes of spring 2025 anime. So drop below any you think look interesting and any you want me to check out. But yeah, let's jump back and talk about winter 2025 season, shall we? Oh my gosh, there were a lot of good anime. I don't think any have made my super standouts yet this year, but there were all the ones that I finished so far were ones that I really thoroughly enjoyed and had a good time watching, obviously, because I finished them. But you know what I mean. They're not in any particular order, but I do give them a little rating. You know, my ratings are take it with a pinch of salt. I'm really I will change my mind on something that I've rated at the drop of a hat. So really ratings are arbitrary for me, but I do like to try and give you an idea of which ones I thought were more standout than others. And I know some people really like seeing people's ratings. So yeah, I try. First up, we have Sakamoto Days. I really enjoyed the characters and especially the arc where we get more story, backstory on Shin, and they encounter Slur, the apparent big bad looming kind of threat, the supposed, enemy of the assassin organization and possibly an enemy of our protagonist Sakamoto. I don't want to give things away, but he definitely seems to be a looming threat, and we get the first little sneak peek of him and his crew, which I was super excited about. He looked very threatening, and yeah, I just loved that arc in general. I love how our trio gets closer together as well through that arc. And yeah, the show really felt like it was amping up at that point, but then the series just ends at an awkward 11 episodes. And it just left me feeling damn, this was too short. This felt more like a part one, because usually when we get shonen, we tend to get a larger chunk, a more 24 episode season, if you will. And I, wrote that little opinion as I finished watching it, went to look at, new upcoming anime releases to mention at the end of this video, and was like, oh, hey, Sakamoto Days Part 2 is airing summer 2025. So yeah, this was really just a part one, which I guess I should have realized because of the small episode count. But why don't they say Sakamoto Days Part 1? Why do they be breaking them up to begin with lately? I don't know. It never used to be a thing that I remember anyway, but now a lot more often we see shonen being broken up into part ones and part twos of a one season, which I just think is kind of annoying, but Anyway, I guess that means this is my review of Sakamoto Days Part 1 of Season 1. So I'll be back to talk about my complete feelings on Season 1 in summer 2025. I don't usually like to do Season 2s, but since this is Part 2, I don't think it counts. It's all part of one season. But yeah. I rated this a total of 8.5 because there just wasn't enough to sink my teeth into. It had lots of fun and exciting battles, and I loved pretty much every character that I was introduced to. Even if they're a little on the weird side, I still found them endearing. So yeah, I rated this a little lower than I think if we had gotten 24 episode type season. Because it is just a part 1. I really think it's a promising start though, and I think if you like shonen or action type anime for sure that you should check this out. The battle scenes, like I saw it from day 1, from episode 1. I talk about it in that review of episode 1 video, but the action scenes are just so creative. They're so fun. They're so action packed. Like I love a creative and dynamic action scene. Like it's one of the things that really gets me going on Gintama. If you haven't watched my video all about Gintama, I praise its action because I think it's also really well done. I just had to slip in that shameless Gintama video plug, but don't mind me. Anyway, I'm looking really forward to part 2 now. But I did think part 1 was just okay. I mean, obviously not bad. 8.5 out of 10. Super solid in my opinion. It just wasn't like a knock it out of the park first season. And I honestly think it's because it only had 11 episodes in it. So altogether, I'm thinking after the summer 2025 part 2 airs, it will knock my rating up higher. But yeah, moving right along, we have Flower and Ashura. So this was one of my top 3 with Sakamoto Days in my anime 2025 watching all the first episodes video, and it did not disappoint. It's so like beautiful, refreshing, just a sweet coming of age story watch, but it was definitely too short. We end just before the big recitation competition that they've been like working towards this whole time, and to not be able to even get a glimpse at the actual competition was a bummer. But I really hope they get a season 2. I think this first season was amazing, and yeah, it doesn't need a season 2 because even if we don't get the competition, we did see a lot of character growth. We got really good snapshots of almost all of the broadcasting club members. Like I felt like they all had distinct and interesting personalities, and I liked them all. Like even the ones that are a little harsher or more off-putting character personality wise, I found them really enjoyable and endearing by the end. So like I fell in love with the broadcasting club crew, and I just want to see more of them. Like yeah, I don't need, I guess, to see the competition. It just really makes sense to have a season 2, you know what I mean? So like I am fingers crossed this anime did well enough to get that freaking season 2, because I know some of them that really deserve season 2s don't get them. But yeah, this was just a really heartfelt coming into your own coming of age, like I said, 12 episode season. We get to follow the adorable broadcasting club as they struggle to find their voice, figuratively and quite literally. It's really interesting because to me, I don't know if this is just a Japan thing or this is a thing here in America and I just didn't know about it. Because I felt like, well, I know there's like, you can like do like an announcement type club where you could be like, you know, do like an anchor type work or like reporting type work in schools. I just like, I don't remember broadcasting clubs being a thing in these recitation competition. So you can either be an announcer person. And then you have the recitation part of the contest, which our main girl is shooting for. It's very complex and I found it really interesting. I always love an anime that like focuses on something I have no idea about, because it's just so fun to like learn along with our first years and see their struggles to improve. And yeah, they were all precious little beans. I really enjoyed how fleshed out they made these characters, and though yes, some of them get a little bit more focus obviously than others, they all felt like they had distinct personalities, and their bonds and interpersonal relations were really strong as well. I really enjoyed them pairing certain club members together and seeing the dynamics between them. And of course, like I mentioned after viewing the first episode, the animation is beautiful. The attention to detail is immaculate. And the world feels so lived in, and the characters are just brought even more to life because of that, I feel. And yeah, the scenes of them reciting and doing readings are also like really imaginative and vivid, and are like a little highlight, a little treat in the episodes, just transporting you to this other world, this other scenery through their reading. So I love those visuals. And overall, I gave this one an 8.8. It's very much on the cusp of a 9 out of 10. If you were to tell me don't use anythings, I would say it was a 9 out of 10. I would round up for it for sure. I just think it is a really enjoyable first season, and I say first season because I do really hope they get a second season. I just think it's a really passionate story, a story really passionate about its subject material, and that made me really absorbed and become passionate about the characters and this reciting, announcing contest they were working towards, and the broadcasting club in general. So I think that's a mark of a great anime, that it can move me to become so passionate about a subject I knew really nothing about before the start of this one. Next up, one I was pretty damn sure I was also going to watch is I May Be a Guild Receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. I mean, I'd say half of this, I think it was around episode 5 or 6, that I'd already read in the manga before, the anime finished. So I knew what to expect, but animated Alina is just as funny and cute, and her hatred for work is just so relatable. Her quest to never have overtime, it's just like, I feel you, and I feel your pain when it doesn't work out, like this poor girl. But yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed seeing it all animated. It just wasn't quite like a new experience, but the second half got a further glimpse into the series, and I'm definitely curious on where it will go from here, hoping for a season 2, or else I'll just continue the manga. Hopefully that'll remain in print following the light novel. But yeah, Jade is also cute. He's definitely the like puppy dog persistent sort, but he's not creepy about it, so I'll give him a pass. Like, it's an acceptable level. Yeah, nothing about the anime was amazing except for that damn ending song. Like, that is stuck in my head. It's so catchy, just like the I don't know. They got me. I don't know what to say. So I gave this one an 8.2. Again, like if you made me choose, I would round it down to 8 out of 10. I have a soft spot for it, but yeah, it just it didn't like break out of any expectations I had of it. It just was a fun fantasy anime to pass the time with. Like, nothing stand out, but that's okay. Sometimes you just want to have relaxing, fun anime to watch, and this was definitely that, with action and comedy sprinkled throughout. I yeah, I enjoyed myself. Next up, we have Zenshu. So I was on the fence about whether I'd finish this one or not, and I actually attribute me finishing this one or like going back to like at least restart watching it based on some reel I caught of someone sharing a specific scene from the anime, and our two main characters, Nakatsu and Luke, and I was just like, ooh, I am intrigued. Maybe I want to watch more of this than I initially like. Not that I didn't enjoy the first episode, I just was on the fence. But that pushed me a little more. I guess I didn't really think they'd lean into more romance, and they do. So I was happy. I was very happy for that. But yeah, obviously right off the bat, the animation, I mean, it's MAPPA, like, it's great. It's great. I really loved the implementation of her, Nakatsu's writing sketchy art style, which becomes like her power ability in this world when she gets reincarnated or whatever happens that lands her in this movie world. But she uses her sketching an outline, sketching a storyboard, animation storyboard, to become a power in this world. And I love the melding of that sketchy art animation with the really detailed, really like sharp and you know, put together animation. It was just like a nice like visual experience. And I also love that this anime felt like a love letter to animation. The art of making it and the characters that bring it to life and that sometimes make us fall in love with an anime and a piece of animation. And yeah, a little bit of character stan culture going on in this one for sure. And I really like that as someone who does definitely dive deep into certain anime or become very obsessed with them because of the characters. I could relate to Nakatsu in this aspect as well. But yeah, I also really like Nakatsu's journey. She definitely starts off a little self-centered and stubborn, and I would even say a bit full of herself. However, she's also simultaneously feeling a lot of pressure and self-doubt that gets, like, you know, revealed as the more confident layers get peeled back throughout the season. And I really loved that by the end she finds kind of a new confidence of her abilities and her craft, and it's not so much of her just thinking she has to do it all, but that she is great at her work, but others can always help improve the craft and the art as well. And so that's a good message. I mean, I don't feel like it was like slam hammered down, you know, too hard, too heavy-handed, but it was just, you know, a nice little like, hey, you might be a genius, but it takes a team, it takes a village. Yeah, so I like that. I think I also super fell in love with Luke. I stan Luke now. I mean, who wouldn't become an ultimate fan of his? He's just like, he's such an interesting character. He's really lovable, but also has like these demons he's fighting, and he just wants to be the hero and save everyone. And yet that is so much pressure for one person to have. And I felt for him. Like, it was great. I loved his journey too. But yeah. I would say that my little issue with this one was just the ending. I have mixed feelings on it. And throughout the whole season, wondering how they'd wrap it up, really. And I still can't figure out if I'm satisfied with it or not. So this is going to be spoiler territory. I just want to dive in a little bit to what about the ending, you know, it didn't make for a perfect ending for me. But if you haven't watched Zenshu, I definitely recommend you watch it first for yourself and see what you think about it. But yeah, warning over, proceed at your own risk. So I love a happy ending. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to cry. I don't want to be miserable. And it really was more of a bittersweet ending if, you know, you think about it, since she ultimately did have to go back to her own world and stuff. And even though we get that little tease at the end, you know, you could make of that what you will. Did they really figure out how to get to her world? Or is it merely her, you know, fond memories, recreating them on the streets of Tokyo? Up to you to decide, really, leaving it at that point. But yeah, I loved seeing the peek into her emotional growth, like I mentioned before. And I love how that is really showcased in the ending, and we get to see it for all the things she learned in this world come to fruition. We also clearly see, based on the unicorn hairpiece of hers, that at least something of this world, of this experience, was real. So it leaves it a lot more up to interpretation, and gives it more of that fantasy element, which again leads you to be like, oh, did they make it over to reality, the world of reality, or not? But I like that. Like, I'm good with that, like leaving it up as not just a dream, or you know, a half dead state of being when she choked on the clam or whatever. Like, that it did in some aspect somehow happen. However, they kept harping on how tragic this movie was, and we get to see the tragedy play out, because as the creator that is also in this movie world keeps saying, it's set in stone, you can't change it. However, for such a tragic movie premise, the happily ever after of all the people that got kind of Thanos snapped out of existence coming back was a bit, I just didn't know how to feel about it. Like, it's like, yay, they lived, everything's green and happy again. I mean, obviously they'll have to rebuild the town, because that didn't seem to get snapped back to reality, or their reality anyway. The fantasy movie. But we get like a what happened after the end of the movie almost, so it's like it kept the integrity of the movie but then rewrote the true ending to be happy. So it just leaves me feeling like, I don't know, I didn't dislike it, but it just didn't feel fully satisfying to me somehow. I couldn't quite sink my teeth into the ending and feel fully like, yeah, what a great ending, oh my god, I love this anime. Because I really did love the journey up to there. Some parts made me laugh, some parts made me kind of choked up, some were just plain cute and action-packed, and yeah, it just gave me a lot of everything, and I was very satisfied until the end was just kind of, I don't know how to feel about it. Yeah, so I don't know, drop below, you know, with a little spoiler warning for anyone else, you know, how you felt about the ending, if you agree with me, if you don't, if you kind of took some meaning or like, you know, interpret it in a certain way that could be interesting. Please do share. But yeah, it just didn't leave as much of an impact on me as I would have liked. But anyway, I ended up rating this one also an 8.5. I think it's very solidly in between an 8 and a 9. Like I was saying, I really enjoyed the ride through this anime. It made me laugh, gave me heartfelt moments, action, the romance I really wasn't expecting for some reason, and I loved. And overall, it just filled me with this overwhelming love towards animation and the medium of animation that was poured into this one. Yeah, and I'm also now just a huge Luke stan, so yay! Lastly, the last anime that I finished so far of the winter 2025 anime was I'm Getting Married to the Girl I Hate in my class. Yeah, for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I knew what to kind of expect out of this rom-com. We got lots of laughs and cute moments. And of course, we got a gaggle of girls that are all about our main boy, Hojo. I didn't dislike this harem vibe, first of all, because he's not overly excited by any of the girls approaching him or you know, doing the things they do to get his attention, and also because the anime does building the type of harem of why the girls are all into him by making him an actually like well-developed character that has good attributes that get revealed through the anime. And though I didn't always feel like they portrayed him the way I would have, I don't think that's a bad thing because it's a pretty consistent character. So even though he has his flaws or he chooses like things that I go, boy, why are you choosing that? It also feels very in line with Hojo. So, you know, I see why the girls like him. I see his kind moments, his thoughtfulness, and then he's also oblivious and annoying and such a guy. So it's like, it's well written. But yeah, I also like that we get some insight into why Akane started kind of, you know, causing fights, picking fights, and being angry with Hojo, especially like singling him out that we see in the very first episode, and why he doesn't like her because he thinks she's annoying and nitpicky and pushy, which she is. She does come across as very angry and annoying, and yeah, but they're actually giving it a little bit of a reason and a little justification rewrote the whole thing for me. I was like, oh snap, yeah, I'd be getting on his case all the time too. Like they play it as she's just jealous that he always gets first place in the beginning, and I think that's what she's focused all of her nitpicking and anger on, so as to kind of almost ignore the initial reason why he got under her skin. And it's very Hojo again. It's a very like, I get it. It makes sense. I don't want to get into it because it's spoilers. But yeah, I just my overall feeling was still just like, damn, Akane, you cannot chill. Like, I get she's jealous. I get she's annoyed at him. I get the predicament is pretty like awkward. Being like told by your grandparents to, hey, you know, get married to this person that you fight with all the time. Live under the same roof with them. And it leads to funny hijinks and cute moments. But just as many just like really annoying moments as well. Like the cute moments we get, it feels like, oh yay, they're getting closer. Yay, they're good. And then Akane's just like, no, but energy. And it's like, girl, you secretly like the guy. Chill just a little bit. He's super easygoing. Like, he's an idiot, but he's easygoing. So if you just become a little more easygoing, maybe you will get even closer. But no, she ruins that by being just like a little too much. And again, I can excuse and understand certain things from in the beginning because we get more context as we go. But by the end, in the final episode, she's still being so stubborn and so like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck about you. Like, girl, no, get away from me. I hate you. Girl, 12 episodes and we are still here. It's just one of those like a little bit, it's so slow burn. It's so like leaving room for all the other girls to have a chance. It's just, I don't like that aspect of it. So overall, I gave it a 7.8 out of 10. I did have fun with it, and I would watch a second season if they do end up putting one out there. And I plan on continuing the manga that I just got the first volume for, which I also enjoyed reading. But yeah, I just that ending of the season made me want to reach through the screen and just slap a bitch. So it went below an 8 because I just I could not with Akane, okay? I could not. I get she's a tsundere, but she just did not develop enough in the season. There was moments where it seemed like development was happening, and she just went, nah, no, I don't want to do that. It's too early in the anime for that. It's like, oh, come on, girl, stop. Like, and that just feels like it's manufacturing more drama. Like, it's not letting her growth really have an impact on the story because they want those harem-esque moments, and they want that, like, you're a girl, you like has a chance. But like, yeah, obviously I am still team Akane. I still think they're cute together, and I still want them to get together. But yeah. Let me know what your favorite girl is in the comments if you have one, if you watched it. But yeah, despite her annoying me to death, I still ship them. It's me problem, I don't know. So last are two that I am currently watching, but I have not finished them yet, so I saved them for the end. First up, we have Momentary Lily. This one did make my top 3, but it has a lot of action elements to it, so I really wanted to wait for this one to be over. So yeah, I have not finished it yet, but I definitely think I will, although I'm sadly feeling like it's not living up to my expectations after that first episode. There is still cute girls, it's still endearing little friendship moments. Sometimes feels like a little bit more, some Yuri vibes dropping. Oh, I forgot to mention in Flower and Ashura, I felt some Yuri vibes between her and the senpai. I was like, ooh, Yuri. But yeah, I don't know. But this one really gives me some Yuri vibes between multiple different pairings. You can decide if you want to ship them or not. I have one that I really like to ship personally so far. But yeah, and the cooking segments are still fun, the action scenes are still dynamic and cool to watch, and it gives you this melding of fun, cute girls, friendship blossoming, mixed with the darker, dire situation of the world and these intense battles that these girls have to partake in, and affecting them personally, directly, as the story progresses, especially. And so it can hit some good emotional beats. However, I think what's working against it is the pacing and writing overall. It just doesn't feel smooth. It's very hard to explain, but the writing just feels wonky, and it leaves me thinking it makes the anime overall less impactful than it could have been.
Also, the lack of real world building that we're getting. Like, yes, we see snippets of the world post this disaster, and I don't need to see like when the disaster happened or anything, but I'd like it to be a bit more fleshed out. I'd like to, I don't know, get a better sense of the world. I'm, a chunk of episodes deep, and I still feel like it
feels a bit too all over the place for me,
and leaves me feeling like the world and the characters come off as pretty flat, actually, which there's so much going on, it shouldn't feel that way, and yet it does.
It just all feels a bit clunky and haphazard at times. Just, it bums me out, which I think is why like I haven't watched the episodes fast enough to be able to review it as a whole, even though I definitely think I will finish this one. But I think if it had been just sharper and more like impactful and just like bang, bam, bam. That was a reference. But just give more bam, bam, bam in the actual episodes, that I would have just inhaled this one. I would have just binged it in a day. But instead, I watched a chunk of it so far, but I didn't feel inclined to finish it. However, like I said, I do think I will. I think the animation is lovely still, and I still think the OP is a banger. It just gets me pumped up every time I start an episode. And the mysteries that are, you know, cropping up in the background definitely makes me curious to finish it. So yeah, I want to reserve my full judgment on this one until it's, you know, actually, like, I've actually finished it. However, I am leaning to thinking this is going to be more of a 7.5 territory. So I don't know when I will pop back in to say how I felt about it as a whole. Might be the end of the year, might squeeze it into another Anime Weeb Wednesday video. You'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's my like pessimistic feelings on that, unfortunately. And yeah, the last one I have started, but I just haven't finished yet, and that's because we've been busy and I'm trying to buddy watch this with a friend, is Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. So I think it's super cute. I love seeing Miss Elf's reactions to Japan, eating the food, seeing the sights. Like it's just kawaii. Like it just gives you that kawaii feeling. Like, oh, she's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. So it brings a smile to my face, and I've enjoyed what I've watched of it. Our schedules have not been syncing up, and I've been busy. Now they're busy. So definitely committed to finishing that one as well, but when I will, I don't know. Someday though, for sure. I also am tentatively wanting to finish Tasokare Hotel. I really liked episode 1. I watched episode 2. And episode 2 for some reason just didn't hit the same as episode 1 and didn't leave me feeling super excited to watch more. However, I would like to give it another episode or 2 of a chance at least before dropping it. I also would like to watch Okitsura, which is, you know, more of another cute romance. I think I tackled enough romances that I was kind of like, I just can't squeeze one more in. But I think after a little break, I would be up for this one since I really dug the first episode as well. I just thought it was really cute and different. And lastly, I really do want to eventually figure out a way to finish watching Ubelblatt. I really liked the first 2 episodes. I was really getting immersed in the dark fantasy world of it and this revenge plot, and just, yeah, I was into it. Just, it has to be on Amazon Prime, and I don't have Amazon Prime, but I'm hoping that I get a chance, I go somewhere and they have Amazon Prime and I can binge the rest of the season. So yeah, those are the anime from winter 2025 that I did finish watching, and the ones I hope to still finish. Let me know if there are any that you watched in winter 2025 that you think I need to give more of a chance to, that I should keep watching, that I didn't mention that I want to try to finish watching in here. Because definitely down for more suggestions, more recommendations, especially like if you watch all the way through an anime that I only gave 1 episode a chance or didn't even watch the first episode, because I know there were at least a couple that I didn't watch. And you thought it was really good and worth my time, then definitely recommend it to me below. Also, obviously, I'm going to be trying to watch Apothecary Diaries Season 2, ReZero Season 3, you know, all the season continuation ones as well. It's just, yeah, I was focused on trying to finish these ones, and I was very happy with what I did end up watching from the winter 2025 anime. Overall, I thought they were all pretty solid, pretty enjoyable watches. I had fun times with them, and they were a feast for my eyes as well. And now, of course, I would love you, please, like I mentioned in the beginning, to also recommend me some spring 2025 anime. Only first seasons, no second seasons. You can drop them below, but I wouldn't be talking about them in my next Weeb Wednesday, which again will be a first episode review video of the new spring anime that will be releasing or have just released when this video goes up. So I have 4 right now that I'm going to say I am looking forward to at least checking out the first episode of and seeing what I think of for my next Weeb Wednesday video. But definitely drop below your recommendations, or if you're excited about these 4 as well. And yeah, first up would be Kowloon Generic Romance. I love the manga, so I need to check out the anime. I'm nosy. I need to see what it looks like, what the vibe is. I'm not sure. Like I feel like I'll just prefer to read the manga. Sometimes when I've already read the manga, I don't really care as much about following the anime, but I at least really want to check out the first episode and talk about it, because I think more people should check out this anime if they're not going to read the manga especially. And you hype it up if it's good, if the first episode feels like it embodies the manga well anyway. I also kind of want to see that, you know, it could be bad, we don't know yet. But yeah, the next one would be Your Forma. So this one has been recommended me a lot by a lovely commenter, and I have not been ignoring it. I am excited to watch Your Forma. You've been hyping it up a lot, so yeah, I am excited. It is on my list to watch. Plus the guy looks very nice, so definitely giving it a shot. Next, I really want to at least watch the first episode of Anne Shirley. So Anne of Green Gables was a book I read when I was a kid. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorite classics. However, the animation of this one, I have to say, it looks beautiful. And it looks like it fits the vibe, the atmosphere of it so well that I'm very curious to at least check out the first episode and see what I think, and at least talk to you all about it, because yeah, it just, it looks nice, and yeah, I might be surprised and really get absorbed with it and want to continue. And lastly is one that I don't know, it got stuck in my head based on just the poster type visual that I saw and the little blurb, but it's called Nazotoki wa Dinner no Ato de. I know, it was terrible. I know I butchered it. First of all, detective mysteries. I really do love me a well done mystery detective type story series. And it also just the energy that our main female protagonist is giving in literally like just the still image is just, she's speaking to me. She's like, yeah, you're gonna like me, bitch. Like she's giving the confidence. She's giving the personality that I like. So I was immediately just like struck by it. I was like, huh, this looks good. She looks nice. Like, I could be into this one. But yeah, there are so many others out there. I, saved a couple to maybe watch, but I would really love any and all comments, suggestions, recommendations from you all down below to really narrow down the list, because I'm trying to only watch like 10 first episodes and be more manageable, and hopefully then finish more of them than I did. I don't think finishing 5 was bad, but like, I would like to finish more if I can next season. But yeah, so I'm super excited to hear what you all are excited to watch, what you loved from Winter 2025 season as well, and just, geek out about anime in the comments with me. And next Monday's video will be my March haul video. I really want to put this out there so that you guys can hold me accountable, or hopefully I will just hold myself accountable. But I'm really hoping this will be my last big haul of the year, and I'm going to really start focusing more on saving for my trip later this year, and just not, going as crazy and buying every single manga and anime that look interesting to me, because that's what I've been doing a lot lately. I do think it's partially because I'm stressed and I stress buy and stuff, and my mental health hasn't been the best during winter. It never really is. Seasonal depression hits a little bit for me, for sure. So that hasn't helped. But I'm hoping moving into spring, and if I put this out in the universe, that I will do better in my buying for the rest of 2025. But yeah, I hope you look forward to the big haul I have for you for March. It definitely was not a good March, so yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, bye!